There is a pattern that most men over 60 have experienced, but very few have named directly. The wardrobe is full. There are blazers, shirts, trousers, shoes, more than enough for any combination of occasions. And yet, on too many mornings, the experience of standing in front of that wardrobe is not one of abundance. It is one of inadequacy. Too many pieces that do not quite coordinate. Too many items that work alone but resist combination. Too many purchases that looked right in the shop and wrong in the house. The wardrobe grows larger, the problem grows more entrenched, and the getting dressed process never becomes the effortless routine a man over 60 should have. This is the age trap, not a failure of taste, not a lack of investment, a systematic failure in the way clothing decisions are made, driven by specific cognitive patterns that most men are entirely unaware of, reinforced by the way retail environments are designed, and compounded with every purchase that adds to the wardrobe without solving its underlying structural problem. Most men over 60 buy clothes reactively rather than strategically. They buy because something caught their attention in a shop window, because they needed something for a specific occasion, because a piece looked good on a mannequin or under the specific lighting of a changing room. These are all forms of reactive purchasing, responding to an immediate stimulus rather than asking whether the piece solves a specific gap in a deliberate wardrobe system. And the result is a wardrobe of individually reasonable choices that collectively produce confusion rather than clarity. This channel is about classic menswear, timeless style, and the practical decisions that help men over 60 build a wardrobe that actually works. Today we are addressing the purchasing decisions themselves, how they go wrong, why they keep going wrong, and exactly what a deliberate, system-based approach to buying looks like in practice. The first buying mistake is what might be called the isolation trap. A man walks into a shop, sees a jacket he likes, tries it on, and it looks good. The fabric is right, the color is interesting, the fit is acceptable. He buys it, he brings it home, he hangs it in the wardrobe. And there it stays, worn occasionally, never feeling quite right, never producing the outfit he imagined when he bought it. The jacket was not a bad jacket, it was a jacket purchased in isolation from the system it needed to join. The isolation trap is the most common buying mistake because it is structurally inevitable in retail environments. A shop presents individual pieces, each looking its best in isolation on a rail or a mannequin. Nothing in that environment prompts the question, what do I already own that this piece will work with? What does this color do to the palette I have already built? Does this fabric belong at the same quality level as the pieces I already wear most? These questions are invisible in the moment of purchase. The jacket looks good. The decision feels easy. The problem only reveals itself at home. There is also a specific way the isolation trap compounds over time. Each individual purchase made in isolation adds one piece to the wardrobe, but it also adds one more variable into a system already struggling with too many variables. A wardrobe of 30 pieces purchased in isolation is not a wardrobe, it is a collection. Collections require curation to become wardrobes, and most men over 60 never do that curation because each individual purchase felt justified at the time. The solution is a rule that sounds simple and is in practice very powerful. Never buy a piece without being able to name 3 specific combinations it creates with things already owned, not vague combinations, specific ones. This blazer works with my white Oxford, my dark navy chinos, and my tan loafers as combination 1. It works with my stone polo and dark charcoal trousers as combination 2, and with my pale blue shirt and dark navy jeans as combination 3. If 3 specific combinations cannot be named before purchase, the piece is not ready to enter the wardrobe regardless of how good it looks on the rail. The second buying mistake is the fit compromise. Most men over 60 have experienced this. A piece that is almost right. The color is perfect. The fabric is excellent. The price is reasonable. but the fit is not quite correct. The shoulder is slightly wide, the body is slightly loose, the sleeve is slightly long, and the man buys it anyway, with a vague intention to have it altered or a belief that it will work well enough as it is. It almost never does. The fit compromise is the purchase that hangs in the wardrobe for years, worn occasionally when nothing else is clean, always producing a slightly off result that the man cannot quite name. The shoulder seam that sits 5 millimeters off the shoulder point, the body that adds 1 centimeter of excess at the waist. These are small differences that are invisible in the changing room and permanent in the wardrobe. The changing room is a systematically unreliable environment for assessing fit. The lighting is often flattering. The mirror is often angled. The man is often standing still and upright in a way he will not sustain throughout a day of wearing the piece. And the enthusiasm of finding something he likes, the cognitive investment that comes from having tried on several pieces before this one, predisposes him to see the fit as better than it is. These are not character flaws. They are predictable features of how purchasing decisions are made under retail conditions. The rule is unforgiving but correct. If the fit is not right at the point of purchase, and if a specific tailor appointment is not already scheduled for the week after buying, the piece should not be bought. Fabric and color can be chosen by eye. Fit must be correct before the purchase is complete. If you are finding this useful, the kind of specific, honest purchasing guidance that most men never receive, go ahead and subscribe. This channel is built around exactly this level of practical detail, and there is a great deal more coming. The third buying mistake is the color drift purchase. A man already owns a navy blazer. The wardrobe is building well around the 5-color anchor system. He sees a jacket in a slightly different navy, perhaps more blue-toned, perhaps slightly more purple-toned, and it catches his attention. He buys it because navy is an anchor color and he knows navy works, but the new navy does not quite match the existing navy, and it does not quite contrast with it enough to read as a deliberate two-tone combination. It occupies the uncomfortable middle ground, too similar to the existing navy to create variety, too different to coordinate with it. The color drift purchase adds to the wardrobe without adding to the system. The color drift problem applies to every anchor color. A second white that is slightly cream, a second stone that is slightly khaki, a second charcoal that is slightly brown-gray. Each of these purchases feels safe because it is close to an existing anchor. Each creates a complication because it is not the same. The insidious aspect of color drift is that each drift purchase feels like staying within the system, but accumulating drift purchases is precisely how the system breaks down, through the gradual introduction of ambiguous shades that belong neither here nor there. The rule, within any color, buy the same shade or a clearly different shade. Never buy in the ambiguous middle. If a new navy is clearly the same navy as the existing blazer, it substitutes for it. If it is a pale blue, clearly and deliberately lighter, it creates a new tonal layer. But if it is neither the same nor clearly different, it belongs on neither side of that line and should stay on the rail. The fourth buying mistake is the occasion purchase that becomes an everyday burden. A man needs something for a specific event, a wedding, a formal dinner, a black tie occasion. He buys a piece specifically for that occasion. The occasion passes, the piece enters the wardrobe, and it stays there, worn once, waiting for the next occasion that may or may not come, occupying space and hangers that could serve the everyday wardrobe. This is the dinner jacket worn once, the formal shirt bought specifically for one event, the formal shoes purchased for one occasion and never worn again. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these 4 buying mistakes do you recognize most in your own wardrobe? The isolation trap, pieces that looked good alone and never worked in combination. The fit compromise, pieces that were almost right and always feel slightly off. The color drift, pieces that seemed safe but complicated the palette. Or the occasion purchase that became permanent furniture in the wardrobe. Tell me in the comments. I read every one. The occasion purchase is not inherently wrong. Formal occasions require specific pieces that everyday smart casual does not. But the decision about what to buy for a formal occasion should be made with the same system-based discipline as every other purchase. Does the piece work with existing anchors? Can it be used beyond the specific occasion it was purchased for? For a wedding, a navy suit can be worn for every semi-formal occasion thereafter. A very specific formal piece that only works for one very specific occasion type is a narrow investment, sometimes necessary, but always worth questioning before purchase. Here is the complete deliberate purchasing framework. Before any purchase, ask 4 questions. First, can I name 3 specific combinations this creates with pieces I already own? If not, do not buy it. Second, is the fit correct at the point of purchase? Not almost correct, not correctable with effort, but precisely right. If not, is a tailor appointment scheduled for the week after? If neither, do not buy it. Third, does this color belong clearly to one of my 5 anchor colors, navy, charcoal, white, stone, camel, or does it occupy an ambiguous middle ground between 2 anchors? If it is ambiguous, do not buy it. Fourth, if this is an occasion purchase, does it also work in at least 2 other contexts? If not, is the specific occasion important enough to justify a piece that will be worn once? 4 questions, applied before every purchase. The wardrobe that results from this discipline is not larger than the wardrobe that does not apply it. It is smaller. But every piece in it works, every combination in it succeeds, and the getting dressed process becomes what it should be for a man over 60, simple, fast, and consistently good. So here is the challenge. Before the next clothing purchase, whatever it is, wherever it happens, apply the 4 questions. Write them on your phone if necessary. Name 3 combinations aloud before handing over the card. Check the shoulder seam at the mirror in the changing room. Does it sit exactly at the natural shoulder point? Confirm the color's anchor. Is this clearly navy, or is it a drift purchase that will complicate an existing navy? And ask whether the piece works beyond the occasion that prompted looking for it. Not all 4 questions will produce a yes every time, but the habit of asking them will prevent the specific purchases that have been filling the wardrobe with pieces that look good alone and work poorly together. The wardrobe becomes smaller. Every piece in it earns its place, and the getting dressed process becomes what it should be, simple, fast, and consistently strong. Because a well-dressed man over 60 does not need more options, he needs better decisions. If you found this useful, subscribe and share it. This is exactly the kind of foundational purchasing discipline that changes how a wardrobe develops over time. In the next video, we are going into how men over 60 can use their silver hair as a genuine style advantage, the colors, the combinations, and the specific decisions that make gray hair work powerfully rather than simply being accepted. You will not want to miss that one.